Hi, this is Marek from Tryb Solo. Today I would like to show you a game called Wormholes. It was published by Alderac Entertainment Group. Thanks for sending it for review. And Wormholes is a game about wormholes. It's a sci-fi game where you are a captain of a ship, a spaceship, and you will travel through the galaxy. You will create wormholes. This is a new technology developed in the future, and it opens a lot of possibilities for space travel, for delivering cargo and passengers. And your task is to travel through the galaxy, to create new wormholes, and to pick up and drop off passengers to different planets. This is a game for 1 to 5 players. There's a solo mode here. Let me show you how the game plays. I will explain you the rules, I will explain how to play solo, and then I will tell you what I think about this game. So this is how wormholes look during solo play. This is the later stage of the game where I have more elements on the board, on the space tiles, but don't worry, I will explain everything. At the bottom is your player area. You have energy tokens that allow you to travel from space to space on these tiles. You have your pickup token that shows if you picked up new passengers on your turn, and you have also all the passenger cards that are in your hand. Normally you will hold these cards in your hand and you won't show them to other players, but when you play solo you don't have to hide your cards from the AI. You also get some help cards, reference cards that will explain you how to play the game. You have the stack of your wormhole tokens. They are numbered from 1 to 5, and you always have a pair of tokens. This side is an inactive side, and this side is the active side. So if you place the first token of a given pair somewhere on the board, you put it on the inactive side, and if you put the second token, you turn both of them to the active side, and now you can use the wormholes to travel through the galaxy. So the basic idea is that you will fly around the galaxy, you will pick up passengers, and then you will drop them off on a specific planet. This is a passenger card. It shows how many victory points you will get if you will drop off this passenger to this specific planet, and it also shows you the planet that the passenger wants to travel to. You can hold maximum 4 cards in your hand. This is the deck of cards with passengers that you successfully dropped off on the correct planet. You have energy tokens. You have 3 of them, and you can spend 1 energy token. You flip it to the other side. You can spend 1 energy token to move one to an adjacent space here on the board. This is the first player token, and here you have exploration tokens that you will be able to get when you are the first player to place a wormhole near a planet. So how does the game play? It's very easy. Your basic move is to spend one energy token to move somewhere. If you have 3 of them, you can move up to 3 spaces at the beginning of the game, because in the later stage of the game you will have this wormholes that will allow you to skip from place to place. So if you spend the token, you move. For example, I will spend this token, I can move 1 space, and that's basically it. I can spend another token and I can move, for example, here. But you also have a lot of free actions that you can use. One of the free actions is that you can warp through a wormhole. So if you have an active wormhole, I have 3 here and I have 3 here, I can use my free action to jump from this place to this place. For example, this is my free action. Another free action is that I can drop off passengers. So if I have this card and I'm adjacent to this planet, I can drop off this passenger. So I will take this card, I will put it to my stack in my player area, and this card will give me points at the end of the game. This is another free action. You can also place a wormhole near a planet. So for example, if I will be, let's say, here, and there is no wormhole around this planet, my wormhole, because each player can put one wormhole around each planet, I can, as a free action, put this wormhole here. And if it is my first wormhole of this pair, I will put it to the inactive side. If I already have, for example, wormhole number 3 somewhere on the board, I will put it to the active side, and now I can use it. So you can warp through a wormhole, you can place a wormhole, you can drop off passengers, you can also pick new passengers. So once per turn you have this pickup token, you can flip it to the used side, and you can take new passenger cards from this deck. Up to 4 cards, you can have up to 4 cards in your hand. So for example, I will take this card, and now I again have 4 cards. And that's basically it. You will move around the board, you will warp through wormholes, you will place new wormholes if you have them, you can pick up new passengers or drop off passengers. You also have some specific features on the map, like you have this asteroid fields that you cannot move through them. You have this space station, and the space station allows you also to take new passenger cards, but not from the deck, but there is a special space station, you can say, market, and anytime when you pick up new passengers, you can first discard some cards from your hand, and you put this card face up to this dock station. How it's called? It's called space station dock. So the space station dock holds all the cards that were discarded by players, and if you move near the space station, you can pick the face up cards. You have nebulas, and moving from nebula to an adjacent space doesn't cost you energy. You have a photon cannon, and this cannon shoots you in a straight line to any number of spaces as you want. You have black holes, they are not visible now here, and they warp you to a random planet. You pick a random card from top of this deck, and it will show you where the black hole warp you. You have wild wormholes that are not placed by any player, but you can also use them to jump from place to place. A lot of things are here. All the tiles here are put randomly. I mean, they have 2 sides, like we have 2 additional here. So as you can see, they have 2 different sides. So there is a pattern in the rulebook how to put them in a 1 to 3 player game or 4 to 5 player game, but there are also additional variants that you can use, and you put the tiles here randomly in a random rotation on a random site. So there is a lot of replayability here. This is the setup for 1 to 3 players. If you play with 4 or 5 players, you add these 2 additional tiles. There are also additional cards in the box that you will have to add to the passenger deck. And if you play solo, you play against the AI. So we can say there is an automa. You have 3 difficulty levels, and basically the automa doesn't have a spaceship, and the automa doesn't fly around the board, but the automa also have wormhole tokens, and the AI, you will put the tokens for the AI here on the board. Because another cool feature is that you can also use the wormholes placed by other player, but the player gets victory points for you doing that. So the AI doesn't use the ship, but you will place wormhole tokens for the AI. And during the game, after your turn plays normally, just like in a multiplayer game. You will take 2 cards from the passenger deck and you will add it to the space station dock. And if at any time there are 2 cards from the same planet in the space station dock area, you will give these cards to the AI. If the AI has an active wormhole near a planet, you will give all the cards from the given planet from the space station dock to the AI. If AI doesn't have an active wormhole, we will place a new wormhole. But basically, each turn you will add some cards to the AI stack. AI will also score points for if you use AI wormholes. It will get points. AI also will get the exploration tokens. If AI is the first, you can say, player that puts a wormhole near a new planet. So AI will score points, and then at the end of the game you compare points with the AI. The game can end in 2 ways, both multiplayer or solo game. If the passenger deck runs out, this is one way to end the game, and also when all 8 or 10 if you play with 4 or 5 players, but if you play with 1 or 2 or 3 players, there are 8 exploration tokens. When all the exploration tokens are taken by different players, you have this, you can say, countdown. You have 3 additional rounds to end the game, and then the game ends. So this is basically how you play Wormholes. Wormholes is a pick up and deliver game, and when you read about this game, you will think what's creative here, what's new, because picking up passengers from one planet and dropping them off on other planet doesn't seem very interesting. But the wormholes, as the title says, are a very clever new idea in a pick and deliver type of games, because normally at the beginning of the game you have these energy tokens that you can spend to move to adjacent space on the galaxy board, and you will basically pick up passengers on one planet, then you will drop them off on the other planet. But you can also place wormholes, and this is very clever, because you have 5 pairs of tokens numbered from 1 to 5, and when you anytime during your turn you can place one of these tokens on the galaxy board. And if anytime in the future you will place the second token from this pair on a different spot, you will create a, you can say, wormhole pair, and this will allow you to travel from one of these tokens to another. So if, let's say, wormhole number 1, the first token is on the left side of the board and the second number 1 token is on the right side of the board, as a free action you can move between these 2 tokens, and this opens up a lot of new possibilities. And during the game you will create this you can say fast routes that will help you to move quickly from one planet to another, and you will be able to more efficiently pick up and drop off passengers on different planets. So this is great. The cool thing is also that you can use wormholes created by other players, but the other players will get victory points if you use their wormholes. So you can not only use your wormholes, but you can also use wormholes from other players. So the galaxy board will be more and more crowded with all the wormholes, and at the end of the game you will be able to create really cool and efficient combos. When you will spend 1 energy token, you will move here, you will jump there, you will pick up passengers here, drop off them there, everything in one turn. I really like that the you can say galaxy board is created from different tiles, and all the tiles have 2 sides, and this adds a lot of to replayability of this game, because you will create this galaxy map randomly with the tiles will be rotated differently. They can be on one on the other side, so every time the galaxy will look a little different. when you play with 4 or 5 players, you have 2 additional space boards, so the whole galaxy will be a little bigger. So it's very cleverly designed, it scales well, it plays well with 1 player, with 2, 3, 4, 5, it's really fun. And this is a light game. I think you can compare it to, you can say, Ticket to Ride, because the rules are very, very easy, because you basically spend 1 energy token to move to an adjacent space on the board, and you have a few free actions like picking passengers, dropping off passengers, creating wormholes, or jumping from one wormhole to another. So the rules are very easy. It's a great gateway game that you can explain to, I think, any player. But it's also very interesting because, like, pick up and deliver game for me tends to be boring sometimes, because you have to travel from one place to another and just, you know, pick up and deliver goods or passengers or anything. But here, thanks to the wormholes, it allows you to create very clever routes between different points on the map. As for the solo mode, it's very fast. You have an AI with 3 difficulty levels, but the AI doesn't use the ship and doesn't travel on the galaxy tiles. The automa mostly get passenger cards that will give AI points at the end of the game. So you compete with the AI, and this is also fun because this is not the beat your own score type of game, but you have an AI that you have to compete with, and with a few difficulty levels, so it's really, really fun. So I think Wormhole is a great gateway game. It's a really fun light game. When I play solo, the gameplay takes up to 30 minutes, so it's really, really fast. It takes maybe a little time to set up the board or the galaxy tiles, but you can play this game under an hour. The box is not very big, so it's easy to take with you when you go on a trip. So yeah, it's really fun. I had fun playing this game. I think I will try to play it with my wife. She loves A Ticket to Ride, and I think that the heaviness of this game is on a similar level, so I think she should have fun as well. Thank you for watching. Visit me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook as well. I will leave links in the description of the video. Hit the like button if you like the video, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.